I'm surprised at the lack of security. Even when I was just a student on college campuses, anybody could just drive up and drive onto campus. And that always kind of freaked me out in general. The president's designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, rightly so. What's so powerful about Charlie is that he was willing to debate anybody, wherever, who, no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from.
We've got Monica Paige, though, White House correspondent for Turning Point USA and star, actually, of today's press briefing at the White House. A touching tribute there, I think, from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt to give Turning Point, Charlie Kirk's organisation, the top billing. Monica, talk me through the last 24 hours. It must have been extraordinary for you that worked so closely with Charlie, knew him so well, but also saw how many millions of others were ready to sort of sign up to the cause.
Well, Harry, it's so great to talk to you, and I really appreciate you having me on and having this segment in the show. Absolutely. It's been a very busy 24 hours. I mean, emotions are all over the place, between feeling absolute shock. I mean, I'm still in shock. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about this right now, to, feeling like I want to burst into tears. I feel angry, and I am just so... I don't even know what the word is to describe Erica, her poise, her strength on full display at this rally and memorial service yesterday. Seeing her say, "I forgive my husband's killer," I don't think I could ever utter those words if I were in her shoes. But to sit there and listen to the stories that not only Caroline Leavitt shared with me, but also the people that have been following Charlie and their personal stories about him, they're very touching, they're very moving, and I'm so excited to see the direction of our organization go, because it's only going to get bigger, and we just saw that over the weekend.
So, Erica Kirk, we were discussing with Blake there before. I think he dropped his phone, frankly. That moment in the arena where she said she forgave the killer. Talk me through how that felt, and what was the reaction of the crowd, and then. Obviously, the president later on said he was not as good a man as possibly Charlie was, or not as good as man as Erica, or as good a person as Erica is, because he can't forgive. Is that the inherent tension at the heart of all this? Is that there is still boiling and righteous anger, but also is it time to forgive?
It's such an interesting dichotomy, because when Erica Kirk said that, we all kind of looked at each other like, wow, did she really just say that? Our jaws were on the floor, because that takes a certain type of strength. That takes a certain type of, I don't know, faith in God that you could be instilled with this kind of forgiveness. But she worded it perfectly. She said that this is what Charlie would have wanted, and this is what the Bible and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ teaches us: to forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So it's so important for us to understand that forgiveness is everything as we move forward, but don't forget what had happened in this movement. Don't forget what had happened. That's what Trump has said when he made his remarks. But, it's so interesting, because emotions are all over the place right now, but the only thing that we can do right now is move forward. And that is exactly what we plan to do. We plan to move forward with strength, and and just see where this goes. And Erica is the perfect person to lead us in that direction.
So Erica has taken over as CEO and chair of Turning Point UK. There was a feeling that this wasn't so much as a memorial, but of revival. On that faith point, is this? We're seeing Donald Trump talk more and more about his faith post Butler last year. You had Elon Musk, of all people, tweeting the Lord's Prayer today. Do you detect this as a turning point in faith, or turning point in broader conservatism, or where do you see it? Is this going to be a moment where religion and politics becomes much more of a talking point?
Well, we've definitely had our sect in religion. We have our TPUSA faith, and I definitely can see them getting more involved with what we're doing now. As for Turning Point USA as a whole, we are definitely going to be continuing our college campuses tour and doing the debates and doing the discussion and the dialogue. We actually just released our full roster today, where we're going to have a star-studded lineup on college campuses. You've got Megyn Kelly, Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia. You've got plenty of people who want to step up to the microphone, who want to step up to the plate and just, do and carry out our mission, essentially. So I can definitely see the intersecting happening. At our core, that is what Turning Point USA is all about. And I think that we're going to be seeing much much more of that as the years progress.
So the verbal fight continues, the tours continue, presumably under a much higher level, sadly, of security than they were. Talk us through how that's going to work. So Charlie's university campus set up, the microphone, prove me wrong, come talk to me. That model is, that's not being retired.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to physically look, but I do know that we are still going to college campuses and speaking to these students. As you just saw at Colorado State University just last week, 10,000 people still showed up to the event that Charlie was supposed to be at, but it ended up being his vigil instead. So we will definitely see more of that. We can definitely expect large crowds. Quite honestly, I mean, being a former college student myself, I'm surprised at the lack of security. Even when I was just a student on college campuses, anybody could just drive up and drive onto campus. And that always kind of freaked me out in general. So the fact that Charlie was there and having such a big presence and being such a big name, I'm a little disappointed with the fact that there wasn't enough security, bolstered security there. But I definitely think that this is a lesson learned, and I'm hoping that the proper steps are being taken so nothing like this could ever happen again. Because President Trump said the gun was pointed at Charlie, but it could have been any one of us. It could have been any of those students there.
Absolutely. And we saw the reaction to the horrific scenes from some people. You're not only no longer a college student now, you are a top White House correspondent, as we saw today at the press briefing. Let's talk about what the reaction to from the government you expect to be. Donald Trump talking about dismantling left-wing extremism, targeting Antifa. Talk us through how that's shaping up. Where are we at with that?
Well, the president's designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, rightly so. I mean, I think this is something that should have been coming a long time ago. I mean, you've even seen the protests coming out of Portland and Seattle and Los Angeles with those ICE raids and seeing the protesters, spitting in the faces of our law enforcement and, spitting in the faces of law and order in general. So this is a great step forward towards actually having change in our country. And the press secretary was able to list out all the instances where these radical left-wing Antifa groups were causing chaos in our country. So I'm very excited to see what the president does. What I do think is that we need to stop funding these NGOs, because if you got to always follow the money. How the heck are these Antifa people getting these weapons, getting the garb that we're seeing, getting the face masks and the everything that you see, the tactical gear? They're all being funded by somebody. So getting to the root of that, cutting off that funding is definitely going to be essential in tracking down who is behind these groups and how we can, prohibit this kind of action moving forward, and we can eviscerate this kind of violence.
Let's have a little look, listen to the president, what exactly he said yesterday. We'll return to that exact point. Have a listen to this.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now.
That's a president that's now, I mean, you can look at that one of two ways, right? As we discussed earlier, he's a man saying, I'm not as good a man as Charlie, I'm not as good a person as Erica. But he is clearly going to use this moment to take the fight to the left, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, the fight continues, and the fight is going to be harder than ever. And what's so powerful about Charlie is that he was willing to debate anybody, wherever, who, no matter what you look like, no matter where you come from. That was his thing, and that is what he encouraged everybody to do. And he spoke to people so patiently and so respectfully. He wanted to learn about why people feel the way that they do, and hopefully he could have made a change, because that's it's so upsetting that somebody who just wanted to have open debate and discussion and dialogue was killed with a microphone in his hand. And he wanted the world to be a better place. He wanted, when you stop the dialogue, the violence begins. And that's exactly what Charlie said. And, when President Trump says, I hate my enemy, I hate my opponent. well, I don't take it that seriously. I know people on the left might take it seriously, but that's the thing about dialogue. He says that he hopes that maybe Erica could change his mind and that he doesn't have to feel that way. Because I think, we're all faulty people. We're all sinners in some way. And forgiveness is a very hard thing, especially when you don't have an apology or you don't see the person face to face. I mean, this whole, I forgive my husband's killer, that's, made me think a little bit about my decisions and about forgiveness. And maybe I shouldn't hold on to grudges. Maybe I should, do I need an apology in order to forgive? These are all questions that, maybe are opening people's eyes. And it's very inspiring.
It's not just, it's talking of holding grudges. The media reaction to Charlie's death and even the media reaction to his funeral last night has been obviously deeply polarised. The BBC in Britain described it as a far-right gathering. What's your response to that?
I just think it's ridiculous. These are people that are constantly finding politics and everything. And what's interesting is that Charlie was not far right. Charlie was more moderate right. He was the moderate one. It's funny, in one of his interviews that he does with his wife, Erica, there's a Q&A portion of the podcast, and the question is, who's more conservative? And he says, my wife, by a long shot. She makes me look like a moderate. So moving forward, I think people made a huge mistake in, trying to take out the one who just wanted to have dialogue and try to bridge that gap between Republicans and Democrats. He was the one that could do it. I don't see anybody on the left doing what Charlie did or looking to make a change the way Charlie did. I mean, it's going to be a tough way to move forward, but we're definitely we got to keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to keep up the Lord's work.
Keep one more. Just one more question. Jimmy Kimmel, obviously breaking news story tonight. Back on the air, obviously taken off the air, and now ABC admit was because he besmirched Charlie's death. He said he spoke a mistruth in the fact that he tried to claim the killer as one of MAGA's. What's your response? Is there redemption for Jimmy Kimmel? Will an apology suffice? Or would you like to see Disney stick to their guns?
Well, essentially, Disney can throw their money at Jimmy Kimmel all they want. It'll just be a waste of money. And I predict that Jimmy will just stick around until his contract is terminated or it's up. And, Jimmy Kimmel and all these other talk shows, they know that their ratings are in the tank. And they're trying to find some kind of way to stay relevant. And this wasn't just misspeak. This was an outright lie. Because I personally misspoken before, and then I have to issue a retraction. That's people make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But this is different. And I don't know if it's a little too late for an apology. I mean, I would accept an apology. I don't know if many other people would. But I think this is very telling of his future, and I don't know how much of a future he really has left, especially after this. I mean, he's run on Trump derangement syndrome for decades, and now he wants to, say these kinds of things. I don't see a very positive future for Jimmy Kimmel. Well,
looking at the polls, it doesn't look like doing his side much good either. Monica Paige from Turning Point UK, thank you for joining us. I know it's been a moving time, a terrible week for you guys, but some hope there. Thank you for coming. Come back and see us soon, yeah?
Thank you so much, Harry. I appreciate it.
Not at all. After